Over to the NBA, where the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics are now down 2-0 going on the road. Nobody had this. Nobody had this in mind.
First time in NBA history, all the home teams in the second round lost. Didn't cover. All money lines hit. Like, the Nuggets ruined what could have been crazy. But, like, what the fuck are we watching? You know who's down bad right now? The people who pick sides. Like, on both, like, the people who are like, I'm an NBA guy, the people who are like, I'm an NHL guy. Obviously, you're winning in your own respects, but both playoffs have been so incredible. So, like, whoever, like, you know, like, the people who want to have, like, the friend, like, the Kirk Hershey fringe minority, like, their arguments, both of them are so correct right now that, like, if you're on one other side having an argument, you're just down bad because you're not going to win the argument. An NHL guy could win an argument right now as much as an NBA guy could. Both playoffs have been absolutely insane.
The Celtics were minus 1,000 to win the series. Against the Knicks, and they're now minus 106 after game 2.
Should we submit a John freezing cold takes and go viral? Talking about that minus 1,000 line when it dropped. Should we try to go viral off that? Because I was like, this is correct.
Freezing cold takes did make a post of Colin Cowherd because after game 1, he was like, this may go down as one of the most meaningless game 1 victories in history.
All right, that's
because
fucked.
It won't matter.
All right, that's fucked.
And then obviously the Knicks come back from 20 again and are up 2 now.
Yeah,
going back to New York.
That's fucked. I mean, we could just start with this series, bro.
I mean,
the contributions from everyone across the board in game 2 specifically is what rung a bell to me when I watched the game back from the third quarter on when it was 73-53. Because I was blue. Like, I mean, I'm black, so I can't say that. But I was blue in the face 2 weeks ago on this. Like, you know me, I can't say that, but for the analogy.
I didn't get it for a second.
I was blue in the face on this podcast 2 weeks ago talking about why is the ball sticking in the third and fourth quarter when you have Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Cat on your team, Deuce McBride. I feel like the run that saved the game, not saved the game, but the run that injected life back in the team was led by Deuce McBride. He gets a rebound when they're down by 20, dunks it. I think Mikal Bridges gets a layup next possession, then he comes down, hits a 3, cuts it to about 15 or so, 13.
Yeah,
and you're like
14.
It's manageable again. And you can see Deuce is like hyping up Jalen Brunson going to the timeout. And Brunson's kind of like, yeah, like, okay, like we got some here. And then you think like, okay, it's Brunson time. It became Mikal Bridges time real fast. And then what I was begging for was seeing him come on the court and Brunson's just deferring to Bridges. Go, you take the high pick and roll. You take it. I'm cool. And then the best part about it to me was with Bridges going off, there was a possession in the fourth quarter. I think the Knicks were down 10. Bridges was on the left wing, high pick and roll, I think with Cat. He kicks it to the left wing to Brunson for a wide open pocket 3, and it kind of gets him going, settling into the fourth quarter to when it's winning time and it's Brunson time. I've been waiting. Like, if I saw the Knicks play like that in the pitching series, I would have never been that's locked in on seeing the minus 1,000. Like, yeah, the books are correct. I'd have been like, I'm betting the Knicks. Are you shitting me? This is what I was waiting for. And then the defense in general, like, this is a good matchup, quote unquote, because the Celtics take so many threes and the Knicks were in the regular season weak in paint defense. But it's been really, really good. The last possession of the game, people of getting game 1, Mikal Bridges the top to Jaylen Brown. Yes, that's Mikal Bridges. Now, Mikal Bridges getting the block steal on Tatum in this game 2. I give the credit to that to Mitchell Robinson and OG Anunoby. Because this is one of the situations where there's so much nuance in this last play. I watched that sequence back probably like 8 times. Celtics had a timeout. And Joe Mazzulla doesn't call timeouts in situations. You watch basketball over the years, you realize he doesn't call timeouts in situations. But there's people across the nation that I guarantee you are screaming, especially because it's a 1-point game. And you have, I think, 13 seconds? 13 seconds, was it? You have a lot of time. Definitely people screaming, call timeout.
Yeah, it was 12.7.
But if you watch the play, they saw it was a basic drag screen. Horford setting it for Tatum coming over across half court. They just got a free dunk on that play, the possession before, or 2 possessions before that, to go up 90-89.
Yep.
So you go back to the same look, no timeouts. It's kind of helter-skelter. Great time to run that after a free throw. Like, great time to run a play like that in general. So don't call timeout. I actually agree with it. Mitchell Robinson and OG Anunoby, great communication and teamwork on the pick and roll. You never want to leave Mitch Rob on Tatum in that situation. But if you watch the sequence back and you notice how connected OG stayed to Horford while keeping a foot in the paint to help and talking to Mitch Rob. Because I'm pretty sure he's telling him, like, you can send a middle. Because most times you're going to get shaken out your shoes and give up a three or something. But Mitch Robinson also slid his feet great for a guy that big. And
7 foot, keeping up with Tatum.
100%.
Talk about
but
it.
I think it's because OG stayed connected in help while taking away Horford, talking to Mitch Rob, sending him back to me where he was like, okay, I have a teammate here. Helps perfectly to let Mikal come in inside and get the block. That was the winning sequence for me. As much as Mikal's there to make the play, it was Mitch Rob and OG. And if you guys win this series in 7 games, that's a sequence that I go back to where it's like, that is game-winning, championship-winning basketball. On the opposite side, game-losing, not championship basketball, Jrue Holiday on a foul to Brunson. I never thought, in this game 1, I watched game 1 back, and I'm saying, who does Jrue Holiday think he is? Even in game 2 of this situation. Bro, there was this point in, like, I think it was the third quarter, and the Knicks were making a run. Jrue Holiday gets up steal and backs all the way up to the. I'm like, who does he think you? What the fuck? Just say the Jrue Holiday. What the fuck? Anyway, you're on Brunson. Now, Brunson's not much of a first step guy. He's gonna change directions on you, take you one way, take you back another way, get you on your hip, and like Jrue Holiday knows that. But Jrue Holiday plays so many first step guys. He does this thing where he tries to aggressively beat you to the spot and cut you off. Brunson likes that. Like, if you aggressively cut off Brunson, he kind of likes that. He doesn't like when you're right in front of him and you're not really going for any of his feints or anything like that. If you get overstep on Brunson, he loves it. So what does he do? Spin off. And when he spins off, the vet that Jrue Holiday, I think he is, just make him make a tough shot. We have guys in help. Horford's in help. Just make him make a tough shot. He might make it. He probably will. But make it. He reaches from behind and goes for the tap around. Bruh, you can't, on a guy that loves to foul bait. That is like Jrue Holiday. I could get on Tatum. I could get on Jaylen Brown. I could get on a lot of guys in this series. From the Celtics perspective, I need more from Jrue Holiday. And it's plays like that and the threes he's been taking before I pass it to a celebratory Knicks fan. I need more from Jrue Holiday, dog.
I gotta just say and put a lot of respect and love on Mitchell Robinson.
100%.
In games 1 and 2, the Knicks won by a combined 4 points. And Mitchell Robinson has a plus-minus of plus 32. This is a guy that has dealt with so many injuries, has missed a lot of time in his Knicks tenure, and coming up in the biggest moments. You talk about clutch out of Jalen Brunson, you talk about clutch out of Mitchell Robinson defensively, and you put the regular season aside. This matchup is what the Knicks kind of built the team around for. They
100%.
built this for the Boston
1,000%.
Celtics. You take the positions out of it, the Celtics got Jason Tatum. Well, the Knicks are going to put up Jalen Brunson right there. For Jaylen Brown, I would kind of argue Cat's that comparison in terms of player for that specific team. For Jrue Holiday, I would put Josh Hart, defensive menace. And then you talk about Derek White. You put Mikal Bridges. OG fits in there. Like, the team is right now just built to beat the Boston Celtics. Now, again, there's zero reason that the Celtics should have lost games 1 and games 2. You had 20-point leads with 2 minutes left in the third quarter in game 2 and 5 minutes or 6 minutes to go in the third quarter in game 1. There's zero reason that the Celtics should have lost those games. I will say this series is far, far, far from over. I do, even as a Knicks fan, I think, even coming to MSG and the hype that's going to be there in that arena, world's most famous arena, the real fucking Garden, by the way, I think the Celtics can get game 3. The Knicks find a way to get game 4. Celtics get game 5. And the Knicks win it in game 6 back at home. That's how I see the series the rest of the way. Knicks winning in 6, back at the Garden. And if I'm wrong and the Knicks go up 3-0, then you better close it out in 4. You better close it out in 4, or else we got a possibility of seeing a game 7 in Boston.
Do you have ESPN pulled up? I want you to double check something for me because the reason why I have this series going to 7, and I think the Celtics win in 7, depending on a couple things. But this is my first thought. The Celtics were pretty good at TD this year. Pretty good. Not as good as you would think they would be at TD. I'm pretty sure they were incredible on the road. Can you go to standings? I'm pretty sure they were incredible. Weird you would see a team like this, their record on the road, you would think it would be flipped almost damn near.
33-8 on the road. Best road team.
So when I'm first looking at it, 2-0, whatever, but they're going to MSG, I'm like, this team's been insane away. The only problem I have is how banged up do you think Tatum is, and not an excuse about affecting him like his bad play, but like, do you think that is a factor that is going to affect him throughout the series? Jaylen Brown's battling things. You see a knee sleeve on Drew Holiday. You've seen Kristaps Porzingis. People are saying that he could be dealing with long COVID.
Yeah, the illness that he only played like 13 minutes or 11 minutes in game 1.
To where I'm like, as good of a team this is away from the crib, the way your team looks right now, you had to take the first 2 at home, maybe at least 1. So I'm kind of with you now that the Knicks can wrap this thing up in 6, but I have to see how this at least the 1 game goes in MSG. Because I compare it to some of the Sixers series they've had with the Celtics. Sixers have been up 2-1. Sixers have been up 3-2. And there's been a lot of those games where the Celtics came back from 20. The Sixers should have been up 3-1. Celtics came back from 20. The Sixers should have been up 2-0. And for some reason, and this Knicks team right here is way better than any Sixers team I'm comparing them to, by the way. Maybe Jimmy Butler team, maybe, but this Knicks team is just better. For some reason, these guys have that championship DNA where they can find that second win late in series where you just, for some reason, you don't want to count them out at all. So I really got to see this game 3, which makes no sense because, like, am I giving too much respect to the Celtics that, like, I have to see them go down 3-0 or I have to see them win a game in MSG but really sloppy for me to be like they're done? Like, is that too much respect I'm giving to the Celtics right now?
I mean, no, because at some point we got to see them shoot. I mean, 10 of 40 from 3 after the 15 of 60 from 3 in game 1. Yeah. That's why I figured in game 2 that the Celtics were going to get it because I'm like, they cannot shoot this poorly again. And we know that the Celtics pull a lot of threes. We understand that. At some point, they got to shoot better. Yeah. At some point. And as a Knicks fan, as most basketball analysts were looking at this series, after game 1, it was like, this is a 1,000% win for the Knicks by just getting 1, especially it being game 1 to start a series. But getting 1 in Boston, now it's almost like they're assuming they may lose game 2. But you did your job. Mm-hmm. You got 1 in Boston, and now you figure you got the home crowd for games 3 and 4. And regardless of what happens in game 2. But now you get to go back home with a 2-0 lead with all the confidence that you got and all the momentum behind you after 2 back-to-back 20-point comebacks. You can't find a way to go down 20 at home again for the third straight game because you can't keep doing this. There's just no way. And you talk about longevity last year is what brings it up for the Pacers for me is regardless if the Pacers are up 2-0, I mean, when the Knicks played them last year, they had their whole starting 5 out. I mean, and then you got 3 of your top dogs for Cleveland that were out for against the Pacers at home in game 2. So it's like the Pacers are finding a way to beat these good teams, but they're not playing. Their guys are injured. So now I'm almost hoping that, you know, it sucks for Celtics fans, sucks for Cavs fans as the 1 and 2 seeds. But, like, I want that Knicks-Pacers matchup. I want that rematch because now OG's going to be there for the playoffs. Now Brunson's not going to have his thumb injury. Like, Cat's here now. Mikal Bridges is here now. This is the team, and everyone, I have to say it now, everyone is, like, bitching about, oh, this is why the Knicks sold their future. They sold their future for Mikal Bridges for these kind of moments, these defensive possession, game-winning, you know, series and game-winning stops for these moments and these fourth quarters out of Mikal Bridges. They sold their future for that. Well, like you said before we got started, if you want to call it selling your goddamn future, you sold it for a fucking banner. You sold it for when you're walking into MSG for game 3 and you haven't had this excitement in fucking years. Mm-hmm. Like, this is why you did it. And this roster is built. You put the regular season aside. Couldn't beat the Cavs. Couldn't beat the Thunder. Couldn't beat the Celtics. They're fucking here now. And just as a Knicks fan, seeing how fired up everybody is, even after game 1, it was like, okay, Knicks fans, like, great win. But, like, come on, it's the Boston Celtics. But then you beat them both in Boston. I just couldn't be more proud of what they have been able to do. 20-point comebacks. Back-to-back games on the road. You just can't make this stuff up. This is like just straight out of a fucking movie. Can they just win the finals, then we can get a 30 for 30 on this goddamn playoff run?